Offences against oneself, Part 1. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Carl Manchester, 2007. Offences against oneself, Paederasty, by Jeremy Bentham. Part 1. To what class of offences shall we refer these irregularities of the venereal appetite, which are styled unnatural? When hidden from the public eye, there could be no colour for placing them anywhere else. Could they find a place anywhere, it would be here. I have been tormenting myself for years to find, if possible, a sufficient ground for treating them with the severity with which they are treated at this time of day by all European nations, but upon the principal utility I can find none. Offences of impurity, their varieties. The abominations that come under this heading have this property in common in this respect, that they consist in procuring certain sensations by means of an improper object. The impropriety, then, may consist either in making use of an object, 1. Of the proper species, but at an improper time, for instance, after death; 2. Of an object of the proper species and sex, and at a proper time, but in an improper part; 3. Of an object of the proper species, but the wrong sex. This is distinguished from the rest by the name of Paederasty. 4. Of a wrong species. 5. In procuring this sensation by oneself without the help of any other sensitive object. Paederasty makes the greatest figure. The third being that which makes the most figure in the world, it will be proper to give that the principal share of our attention. In settling the nature and tendency of this offence, we shall for the most part have settled the nature and tendency of all the other offences that come under this disgusting catalogue. Whether they produce any primary mischief. 1. As to any primary mischief, it is evident that it produces no pain in any one. On the contrary, it produces pleasure, and that a pleasure which, by their perverted taste, is by this supposition preferred to that pleasure which is, in general, reputed the greatest. The partners are both willing. If either of them be unwilling, the act is not that which we have here in view. It is an offence totally different in its nature of effects. It is a personal injury. It is a kind of rape. As a secondary mischief, whether they produce any alarm in the community. 2. As to any secondary mischief, it produces not any pain of apprehension, for what is there in it for anybody to be afraid of? By the supposition, those only are the objects of it who choose to be so, who find a pleasure, for it seems they do, in being so. Whether any danger. 3. As to any danger exclusive of pain, the danger, if any, must consist in the tendency of the example. But what is the tendency of this example? To dispose others to engage in the same practices, but this practice, for anything that has yet appeared, produces not pain of any kind to any one. Reasons that have commonly been assigned. Hitherto we have found no reason for punishing it at all, much less for punishing it with the degree of severity with which it has been commonly punished. Let us see what force there is in the reasons that have been commonly assigned for punishing it. The whole tribe of writers on English law, who none of them knows any more what they mean by the word peace than they do by many other of the expressions that are most familiar to them, reckon this among offences against the peace. It is accordingly treated in all respects as an offence against the peace. They likewise reckon forgery, coining, and all sorts of frauds among offences against the peace. According to the same writers, it is doubted whether adultery be not a breach of the peace. It is certain, however, that whenever a gallant accepts an invitation of another man's wife, he does it with force and arms. This needs no comment. Whether against the security of the individual. Sir W. Blackstone is more particular. According to him, it is not only an offence against the peace, but it is of that division of offences against the peace which are offences against security.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?